Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ignite 2021. I am so excited about this year's theme, the surge. Listen, to surge means to move suddenly, powerfully, forward or upward. Now, one of the things I do caution us before we even make that move or before anything happens, that we have some point of direction, and I believe that is the reason why we are here. And so if you all are here virtually, that means you read the description for this workshop. Now let me say it again, this workshop, the operative word is work. So we are about to do some work. Now, what I failed to do was list some prerequisites. And so one of the prerequisites are you need to be ready to work. And then the second thing, the materials that you're going to need, since we're here in this virtual space, listen, go ahead and grab some paper or a notebook and get a writing utensil so that you can begin to jot some notes down. And actually, we're going to start with a process that's going to help catapult you, to surge you so that you can be able to make that power move, right? And so I am excited. So let's say, let me ask you a question. So how many of you all would be honest to say that 2020 presented us with some great uncertainty, that there were things that happened and took place due to this pandemic that we were really caught off guard? I'm not even talking about just in our personal lives. I'm talking about in our work environment, our health, our family, our children. Listen, there were some things that took place in 2020 that took us, through some things, some challenges, right? And so what I learned that in 2020, that we are a resilient people, right? For those of us who had to not just parent our children at home, work from home, homeschool from home, discipline, cook, we had truly become full-time parents, supervisors, managers, teachers, nurses. We had to do it all. But then on the other hand, there were those who could not quite handle that responsibility, and sometimes their children suffered from it, jobs suffered from it. Listen, there were even people who lost their job, their source of income. There were people that were in need, that had never knew what it was to be in need before. And then there were other people who their lives just become stalemated. They were locked in their house. They couldn't go out. There was nothing that they could do, and they found themselves in a place that they had to now deal with the things that they had been running from for so long. Most importantly, we learned how to deal with us. If we took the time, because we had space and time, some of us, to really do some reflecting, self-reflecting, some self-inventory, and some self-examination, right? I know for me, I was able to sit still long enough to just hear the voice of God clearly again. There was a time when I didn't have such a busy schedule in life, not because that was something that God put upon me, but it was something that I took on for myself. And oftentimes, keeping busy doesn't mean that I'm fulfilling purpose, but I'm keeping busy for the sake of, not really having to deal with me. And so for 2020, for me, during the time that I was at home, because it was not very long, I had a time of self-reflection, a time to get into the presence of God for real. And as an intercessor, begin to pray and intercede for the things that were happening. People were losing their lives because of this pandemic. People were sick and in the hospital and couldn't have visitors. People, our family members, and those close to us were being buried, and we couldn't even say our final goodbyes at a funeral. I mean, there were so many things that were happening that really caught us off guard. And so one of the things that in the description for this workshop I talked about was the uncertainties in life can be extremely stressful and lead to breakdown. Some of us could not handle that much of a responsibility, and we were stressed out. Other people suffered because of it, but yet and still we are here. Yet and still, in spite of everything, we are here. We are the remnant that remains. And so, there was some demands and expectations of us that, listen, we had to really transition our lives and learn to think outside of the box. There was some distractions that happened, that stopped or caused us to not seek those dreams, those goals, those visions, those things that we once had back in 2019 when we left the Ignite conference. We were on fire for God. And listen, that happened right in November. We had December, January, February, March. And in them 4 months, if we didn't get done what it is that we planned to get done in those 4 months, everything shut down. And so we were on fire at Ignite. And then 2020 came in and shut everything down. And so I wanted to provide us a space and an opportunity to remove ourselves from the day-to-day stresses and strains of life in the real world and dive back into our moment of rediscovering self, right? Because now is the time. Now is the time for us to recoup all of the things that we lost in this transition. So we need some renewed vigor. We need, like, those dreams that we had that we let lie dormant. I did say let die, but then I thought about that after the fact. Like, no, those dreams and visions are not dead. We allowed them, or we are allowing them to lie dormant. But here at the Surge, we're going to reignite the fire that is in us, that's lying dormant within us, so that we can go on and fulfill our purpose and destiny in this lifetime, okay? So, we're going to do an exercise that I want us all to participate in, and I do believe that it's going to prove beneficial if we commit to not give up. So this is the first thing I want us to do. Repeat after me. Okay. Say, no matter how hard it gets, I will not give up. No matter how hard life gets no matter how hard life gets, I will not quit. Now, I can't see you, I can't hear you, but I'm going to trust that you did say that, right? Some of us, we need to put it on a piece of paper and put it on the wall, put it in the bathroom, so that every time we walk past it, just begin to quote that thing, right? So, I want to ask you a question. What do you all think is a good trait or one of the qualities that we need in order to be successful in life? Like, what is a good quality or a good trait that someone has to possess to be successful in life? And the reason why I asked this question, the reason why it brings attention to me at this time, is because we were in praise and worship rehearsal, and the musician had posed that question. And so we had responses like, oh, consistency, being able to utilize time management, being on time, practicing, because we were talking about praise and worship, practice, being a good listener, all of these things we said. And he was like, yeah, those are all good. And he said, but he said that psychologists and social scientists, and I wrote this down because anytime we're in rehearsal, we always get a lesson first, and then we go into our practice, and then, into our praise and our worship. And so he had said that psychologists and social scientists have discovered that the predictive trait or the key to success is grit. Grit. I was like, grit? Like, yeah, that same face that you just made when I said that word grit. Yeah, that's what it is. He said grit. He said grit is passion and sustained persistence applied toward long-term achievement with no particular concern for reward or recognition along the way. It combines resilience, ambition, and self-control in the pursuit of goals that take months, years, or even decades to accomplish. And so when I heard that, I was like, oh, wow. So that helped me even in getting this workshop together. So what I want to do, I want to get right to work because we have about a good 20 minutes, and we may not be able to complete the whole thing, but at least you are going to be able to get started. And so what I want you all to do is to pick something that you know you need to do that will make your life more fulfilling or better for you personally, and or that will benefit others. Now listen, those of you who are sitting here, don't click off. Don't sit up there and say, well, I don't know what it is. Yes, you do. That first thing that came to your mind when I asked that question, when I said to you, pick one thing. And that's all you got to do is one thing. Some of you have multiple things that you know that you need to do that's going to help you make your life more fulfilling. And then there's some of you who have, desires, and you have plans, you have vision that can benefit others as well. So that thing right there, that's what I want you to think about. And now, just thinking about it, put it in our heads. You got it? Yeah, I know you did. So this is what I want you to do, because like I said, we're not going to be able to get through everything in these 20 to 30 minutes, but it will be a start. It's an opportunity for us to begin again. So now what I want you to do is write that thing down. Whatever it is, write it down right now. And while you're writing, neurologists and psychologists both agree in the power of just writing down your goals because it can help manifest them into reality. So we don't just write something down so that we don't forget it. I read Jason Fried, his book, Rework. He said clear writing is a sign of clear thinking. And so writing helps us to communicate with clarity. When we write, we build structure that allows us to express our ideals in a much more effective way. It also helps us to be more productive. So I want us to spend the next couple of minutes. We're going to write our goal, a vision, a dream, our plan down. And keep in mind that when we're writing this, I want you to be able to write it in a way that if you were to hand it off to someone else, they would be able to read it and know exactly what it is that you want to achieve, right? I also want you to know that there is a big difference between setting a goal and achieving a goal. So what do I mean by that? We can say that we want to lose weight, we want to start our own business, we want to write a book, we want to go back to school. We can say all of these things, right? But without establishing a clear plan as to how we're going to make that happen, to be honest, that is just a wish or a hope, right? So once we get extremely clear about the thing that it is that we want to accomplish, now we have to create an action plan. Now, so how do we set or establish these attainable goals. You know, when I started True Sisters, Strengthening Sisters, back in, I don't even know, that's how old I'm getting, but years ago, I kept starting and stopping. People would come and then they would leave. And then I took this course with Reverend Nikki Brown, and I had began to put things down in writing. She helped me to write the vision for it. And when I left that training, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks. So when I left that training, I had the vision written down, and then I had made a promise to God that I would be obedient, right? One step at a time, one obedient step at a time, one small step at a time. Because the things that she was teaching us, it was like, okay, we see the big picture and we are trying to make everything happen now. But in order for us to achieve and see some success in something, then we need to like basically do it in chunks. Now that's not what that wasn't verbatim, but that's what I got out of what it was that she was teaching, and it proved to be beneficial for me. And so there's about 3 steps that I'm going to talk to you about on today in our time together. So the first step we just talked about was to write that thing down and be extremely clear about what it is that we wanted to achieve. So we can use, for example, very simple, losing weight. Now, I don't want to offend anybody, so I'm going to use myself for the example. Okay, so a couple years ago, I went to the doctor and I was diagnosed with hypertension. And so when I got on the scale, I weighed in at 236 pounds, which, by the way, is obese, according to what my doctor said to me. So he told me, for a woman at my age, at that time, and my height, that my ideal weight should have been between 118 and 153 pounds or something like that. Now, mind you, did you hear that? I'm at 236, and you want to throw those little numbers at me? I was like, huh, I'm going to die. I couldn't see a way. I couldn't create a plan that was going to help me to lose that much weight. But what he did was he put me on some blood pressure medication, and he told me that if I could get down to at least 200 pounds, that I could be taken off the blood pressure meds, right? So without a plan, I didn't even have a plan. That's what he told me. I was like, all right, cool. Somebody introduced me to Herbalife. I started taking the supplements, started drinking the shakes, right? Without a plan, though. And I got down to about 216 pounds. I can tell you that I didn't do anything different, right? Except for take the Herbalife supplements and drink the shakes. I still ate what I wanted to. I was still drinking ginger ale soda like almost every day. And so then, but I was seeing progress. I got down to 216 pounds, and I was like, oh, I got 16 more pounds to go. And then all of a sudden, bam, COVID hit. And I got back up to the 236 plus. Okay. And it didn't take long for me to get back up there. And so I'm going to tell you right now, I need to lose weight. So let me be clear. I need to lose in excess of 40 plus pounds to get back to that 200. Or to get to that, I'm not even going to say back to that, to get to that 200 pounds. And so, like I said, I think it's extremely important. Even if this, I'm sure that you all are going to benefit from this. But this right here, this is for me. And so I use myself as an example. My clear writing and thinking is that I need to lose 40 plus pounds, right? Okay, so that's what we need to do. Step 1, get extremely clear about what it is that you want. I said wait, but you put down whatever it is that you know that you need to do. And so this first part of this process, like I said, saying like I want to lose weight or I need to, But if I keep saying it, it's not going to make it manifest itself. It's still just a wish. I have a desire to lose weight. I know that I need to lose weight. But if I don't put that thing in writing and follow this process, next year, I'm going to come back to Ignite saying, I need to lose weight. But so we need to begin to ask ourselves some questions. Like I said, I'm going to use weight because that's my issue right now. So I need to ask myself some questions. I told you all how much I needed to lose. I need to lose about 40 pounds. How will it make me feel when I lose that weight? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. But you might have an answer for that. And why do I want to lose weight? Now listen, I'm not trying to lose weight at 50 because I need a bottle top figure. I'm really trying to lose weight so that I can get off of blood pressure medication because I know the damage that it's doing to my organs, right? I need to get off the blood pressure medication. And what is my deadline to achieve this goal? You know, I want to be realistic. That's another thing. You want to be realistic. So that's step one. We're getting extremely clear about what it is that we want. Did you write your stuff down? All right. I'm believing that you did. So we have to be able to answer the who, what, where, when, and why, and hows. Listen, that's important. And hows for ourselves. So once we can do that successfully, then the transition can begin to take place. Step two, this is what we need to do. We need to create a game plan for our success. This step two process, it increases our chances of achieving our goals drastically if we put it into practice. So we got clear about what our goal is. Now what we need to do is to create a list of everything that we believe we need to do in order to achieve that goal. Listen, don't take any shortcuts. I don't care how many things that you have to jot down. Jot that thing down. You can go back and say, oh, I don't need this, or I can combine this with this, but jot everything down. It's called brainstorming. So that's what we want to do. One of the things that I learned by working with the state and having to go to these trainings is that we can utilize the SMART goal concept. You all may have heard of it, or some of you may have not heard of it, but it's criteria attributed to and can be found in Peter Drucker's management by objectives concept. So SMART is an acronym that you can use to guide you as you are setting your goals. S stands for specific. It has to be well defined so that anyone can understand it. Like I said, write it down. I need to lose 40 pounds. That's very specific, right? Okay, M, measurable. It needs to have parameters in order to know if the goal was achieved. So I said I'm going to start off simple right now. I'm going to say I need to lose 5 pounds by December 1st, right? And I'm going to lose it by walking to and from work each day. It's not going to be that cold. I can walk. I don't live very far, but that is at least getting me exercise. So I'm going to walk to and from work each day. I'm going to drink half my body weight in water daily. And I'm going to decrease my calorie intake. So that's measurable, right? Okay, attainable. That means it must be a realistic goal that also challenges you. So this, like I said, those are the things I'm going to do. But I'm also going to gradually, see, we think that we can stop things instantly and not have a craving for them. So some things I just have to gradually do without. So I'm going to gradually remove all sugars and starches from my diet. Until I no longer desire or crave them. And so that's a gradual process, because if I do it instantly, my body is going to crave it. I'm probably going to have headaches. Like, I drink coffee every day. I do not use sugar in my coffee. I do not use white sugar in my coffee. I use the cream. So whatever. That's what I'm going to do. Are relevant. We need to make sure that the goal is consistent with your other goals and will aid you in achieving your long-term goals. So losing the entire 40 pounds will cause me to be taken off of the medication, and I will improve my health and wellness. T, time-oriented. I'm going to create a time frame when I want to accomplish this. So I'm going to give it a year. In a year, I think that's achievable. In a year, January 2023, I'm going to be down those 40 pounds. Y'all pray with me. And so number 3, the last thing is take consistent and persistent massive actions. I told you, utilizing them SMART goals, very simple. It will definitely help. So all 3 of these things are greatly important. But listen, this is the game changer between goal setting and goal achievement, right? When we create an action plan and we take steps directly to do what it is that we said we need to do. But the unfortunate thing is that a lot of us, we spend entirely too much time looking for a secret formula. Like I said, I did Herbalife. We looking for a pill we can take. We want to go get surgery. And I said I'm using weight as my example. We want to get surgery to help cut that process out. But at the end of the day, it takes work. It takes persistence. It takes consistency. And it's not going to happen overnight. So if anybody's trying to sell you a dream to tell you that it's an instant thing, we see commercials, we see body shapers, we see all of these things that we're trying to do to make us look good. Listen, for me, I want to be healthy, but at the end of the day, hey, I wouldn't mind looking good too. But to know that nothing happens instantaneously. Even if I fast for 40 days and I lose the weight, if I go back to the way I was eating before I started the fast, the weight is going to come back, and doctors have said it will come back a lot quicker, right? Okay, so we want to do this each and every day, right? So listen, you all took time out today for 30 minutes. You invested time for 30 minutes. Do that on a daily and consistent basis, and you will be able to achieve that thing. You'll be able to, I'll be able to lose the weight. You'll be able to start your business, write the book, whatever it is that you wrote down, that thing, you'll be able to do it if you work on it consistently and use those 3 tools that I gave you. I promise you that this time next year, you'll be better off than you were today, right? So again, I want to thank you all so much. I thank God for Reverend Nikki Brown for this opportunity to teach this workshop. I hope you all glean something from it, and I hope that it produces the result that you desired. So everybody, you all continue to enjoy the Ignite. My name is Elder Tamu White from True Sisters Strengthening Sisters. God bless you all, and see you again next week.